Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Z-Wade Photo Show. Nikon has finally released the Nikkor Z 35mm f1.2s. It has been on the roadmap for freaking ever. I have been waiting on it for freaking ever, and I just knew, and I'll take absolutely 100% of the credit for this, so allow the thank yous to come in, because it is my purchase of the rather expensive, the Nikkor 35mm f1.4G, and this is in rough shape. Me buying that is what triggered this. I'm 100% convinced. Every time I'm like, well, I can't wait anymore. I need something in that kind of range to do a specific task. I get it, and then they finally release after 2 years, after putting it on the roadmap and then teasing us with a little bit of a development announcement or something like that, and then it just like died off again and everything like disappeared. I just knew it was gonna happen. So you're welcome, everybody. My misfortune is your benefit. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, you probably heard me say that I was not going to buy it right off the bat, and I didn't. I haven't been real impressed with Nikon Z-mount 35mm. The 35mm f1.8s, I found it to be kind of sluggish and rather flat rendering and kind of boring. And then the 35 1.4, I get it. It's kind of more of a F mount feeling lens. It kind of feels older tech, more of an artistic look, not quite so clinical like its f1.8s and most of the other S-line lenses. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't want to go on a rant about it, but those lenses left me thinking that Nikon is just in a 35mm funk. Perhaps they're just not making very good 35mm. So ever since I got the opportunity to test the 35mm f1.4 Z-mount lens, I've been saying, okay, I'm just going to wait and see what the feedback is first before I just jump out and buy it, which is traditionally what I've done. I just have turned my trust over to Nikon as it relates to the Z-mount, because it's probably going to be really, really good, except for the 35s, which I haven't been real thrilled with. So it did not take long. The videos started pouring out the other day, and oh my gosh, the reactions have been kind of overwhelmingly positive. Even people who traditionally aren't really particularly nice to Nikon, they're actually like, oh yeah, this lens just slays. So while I was kind of waiting for some people that aren't that big, the people that don't have the privilege of using it before, like the pre-production channels, right? The ones that get their hands on it and they can't show everything that the lens does because it's a pre-production model. I don't really consider their opinions to be that strong, because I want regular folks like myself, regular channels that are bigger than me but not quite to that level as some of the big ones with all of the privileges that they get. However, whenever you have YouTubers that are generally like, well, you know, it's good lens, but the problem with Nikon is blah, 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 blah. They just can't do anything without, you know, having something negative to say. They just kind of throw it in. Earned or not, right? We're not going to get into that. But when even they're like, oh my God, mind blown, incredible, gotta have it, I kind of believe them. So yeah, I got it. That was good enough for me. So why don't we kind of take a look here? All right, so we're over here at Adorama. By the way, if you're thinking about picking up this lens, I hope that you'll consider using Adorama because they believe in the channel. I get a 2% commission if you do, and honestly, I don't even know if it works because nobody's ever bought anything using the link in the description before. So I don't even know if that link works. But consider Adorama because they actually care about Z-Wade Photo. I'm not big enough for some of the other guys, I guess. So right off the bat, something that I was kind of wrong about. Based on the development announcement pictures, I was kind of expecting this to be in the size range or the form factor of the 85mm f1.2 seen right here. This is kind of what the picture looked like, but it actually is more in line with the 50mm f1.2. And there's actually a really cool picture over here that compares the three lenses, the 85 f1.2s, the 50 1.2s, and the 35 1.2s. Now this actually kind of tells me it's a little bit smaller in length. It almost seems it's a really similar barrel, it looks like, to the 105 f2.8s size-wise, if we put that next to the 50mm, it's kind of similar, see? Let's line up the bottoms. There we go. It does look to be a little bit bigger round, perhaps. So maybe about as big around as the 50mm f1.2, but with the length of the 105 f2.8s. So there's certainly some differences in the form factor, you know, compared to what I thought it was going to be. I thought it would have been cool if the 85mm f1.2, as far as these wide primes go, I was kind of thinking it would be cool if they would have been this form factor. But at the same time, we'd run into the same issue that we have with the 135 1.8s Plena, and that I often grab these whenever I'm trying to grab the other because they are so similar. Something else I was totally wrong and caught off guard with is what I thought the price was going to be. I thought for sure that it was probably going to be more expensive than the 50mm f1.2s because this is the oldest of the f1.2s, and there's definitely some advancements that have been made in the time between the 50-1.2 and the 85-1.2. The 85-1.2 is inherently a little more beautiful. Like if you put two images, one from the 50 on one side and one from the 85 on the other, there's just a kind of a difference in tone a little bit, and just a slight difference in like the beauty. And so I imagine this is going to be more along the lines of what the 85-1.2 gives us compared to the 50-1.2. I did have a little bit of a thought. I don't know if I sent it out publicly, but whenever they had the development announcement and then it kind of just like went dark, I was speculating that perhaps they ran into some issues with the design. And I'm glad that they held off to make it. I mean, they clearly made this right. And we definitely didn't need another 35 that kind of left people like, eh. But with all that being said, it makes sense that it's more expensive than what I thought it was going to be, which was $2,200 to $2,400 range. Unfortunately, it's coming just shy of $2,800. Not fun. Not fun at all. So they have done away with the screen. I think the screens are probably done. We haven't seen one in a little bit. They're cool. I don't think they're necessary. They're just kind of like a cool little thing that makes the Nikon lenses a little bit different, I guess. I don't think they're necessary. I doubt they're that expensive, but they're just kind of cool. I don't use them that much. With a lens like this, Astro, you could probably argue that there's actually a use case for it. I don't shoot Astro, but there may be some usefulness that could have been had in having it on there, which kind of leads me to believe that it's just done. They're just probably not doing it anymore. Looking at some of the sample images, I mean, we already know, we've all seen the videos. It's exceedingly sharp. It looks like it has incredible contrast. The background looks really good on it. Looks very, very good on like its color balance. It's just like incredible. Skin tones, incredible. Obviously, these are edited, but it looks like an absolutely stellar lens. Yeah, not happy about the price. I was expecting it to be $400 to $500 cheaper than that, but you know, it is what it is. This is what you pay for, and people are going to complain about, oh my gosh, why is it still like so gigantic? It's because Nikon doesn't care about the size of this lens, right? Of these f1.2 lenses, they don't care. They care about optics. In my tests with the 50-1.2 from Nikon, Sony, and Canon, I tested them all right by each other, and compared images, the Nikon is the best. The Sony's is the second. Canon's, while very, very good, a very good lens, they should be embarrassed that Sony beat them in image quality of the 50mm f1.2. Yeah, Nikon's the best, Sony's the second, Canon's is the third, but not by like a huge margin, right? And so those are smaller lenses than this, but you know, Nikon just doesn't care about that. They care about having the best optics. If you want something small and compact, you can save a ton of money by getting the small and compact 35-1.8s and the 35-1.4 non-S-line lens, if that's what you care about. If you just care about sheer image quality, inherent beauty, masterful optical designs, then, you know, the size is just what it is and the price is just what it is. It's definitely a lens for a specific type of photographer, that kind of photographer, which I am. I don't really care about the camera. I want the best optics that I can possibly get. And so this is just, I am this kind of photographer, and maybe you are too. And if you're not, nothing wrong with a 35 1.8S, 35 1.4 non-S. Those could be for you. This one's for me. And so I did order it, but I have to wait like everybody else. I think they're shipping at the end of this month, so I'll probably have a video on it the first week of March, perhaps, if I'm in the first round. I don't know how popular this lens is going to be. At that price, I'm pretty confident I might be in the first run because I did buy it the day that it launched. So yeah, maybe like the first week of March, I should have some content on it. I am super duper excited. I've been waiting for this lens for 2 or 3 years. I don't remember. I think in 2021, I got the 51.2. And so that's how long I've been waiting for this particular lens. Let us know in the comments if you're picking this lens up and if you're excited about it. Maybe you're waiting for more results from smaller channels like me that will do a unbiased and real world kind of test of it. Maybe that's what you're waiting for. Let us know in the comments, or let us know if this lens isn't for you and if you're totally happy with the 35 1.4, 35 1.8S. I'm Z Wade, the Z Wade and Z Wade Photo. Stay sharp, YouTube.